Today I'm going to go over the float valve assembly or equalizer assembly. You'll find it underneath your skimmer basket. If your pool was built in the 90s or any time later, you probably have this device in your skimmer. It's very popular in my area. Okay, it'll look something like this here. And what this does, it regulates the flow from the skimmer in the main drain. This will actually collapse down partially while the pool is running to suck from the main drain also to kind of divert some of the suction. This is also a safety device. If your water level were to get low in your pool, or if the skimmer basket would get clogged with debris, this would collapse down on itself and then all the suction would come from the main drain of your pool. It's a great way to save your equipment, having this in the skimmer and operating correctly. If the water level were to get low or if the skimmer basket were to get clogged up with debris, the pump will still run, it will suck from the main drain. That'll prevent the pump from burning out. So not only will it close because of the water level, it also closes if your skimmer basket gets full of debris. It can no longer draw from the surface. Okay, so if the water level is fine, you want to go ahead and just turn off your pump. We can re-engage it by just lifting it up and setting it back down. So with the pump off, simply reach in there and you can pull that right out from the bottom of the skimmer. You would just simply lift it up and you would just stick it back down and it should re-engage itself now that I have the skimmer basket out with the leaves in it. And you can see now it's drawing from the skimmer itself, so it has re-engaged. You would have to have a specific skimmer installed for the float valve assembly. The float valve assembly will sit right here. You have the main drain here, and you have this to the pump right here. So if the float valve engages due to low water or debris in the pump basket, the main drain will activate, the water will come through here and go down to the pump. If the float valve is unengaged, water will just flow through the skimmer and flow right to the pump. And here's the American Products brand. It looks slightly different than the one you may have in your skimmer. Every skimmer has their own particular valve. And on the bottom you'll see a gate here. If you don't want any suction from the main drain at all, go ahead and leave that open. While the skimmer is operating, it'll just suck from the skimmer. If you want some water diverted to the main drain, go ahead and close that gate and put this in your skimmer. Some suction will come from the main drain now while the skimmer is operating. You can actually feel it kind of get stuck on there. And I prefer to run them with the gate all the way open, that way the skimmer gets full suction. And for it to work properly, there's an O-ring on the bottom of the skimmer, you can see it here. I have a video on changing that. This one here looks like it needs to be changed. You can see it sticking out here to the right. So it won't work properly if the O-ring is not set in the skimmer bottom. If you have an automatic suction side cleaner with your pool, you don't have a side port, you're going to have to connect it to your skimmer. Just be aware that in that case you're going to remove this device. You have to keep an eye on your water because it's no longer going to be in there to protect your equipment from burning out if the water gets low. You'll have to hook up your cleaner here, and in doing so you'll remove this device. So the ideal setup for an automatic cleaner would be on the side port here of the pool. That way the skimmer can stay intact with the basket in here and with the float assembly valve inside here. So if you have a newer pool, you'll definitely have a side port attached to it. Go ahead and take your automatic cleaner up there and leave your skimmer intact. And one quick note about the side port of your pool: even if the cleaner were to pop out, the side port were to shut, or if something were to clog the cleaner, you can see that the valve is not fully engaged here, that the skimmer has still most of the suction coming from it. So even if the side port gets clogged up, the skimmer will work fine. And that's a quick look at the float valve assembly that you would find in your swimming pool skimmer.